SportsCenter, lots of smoke around the fire that could become the issues surrounding Dwight Howard leaving the Magic. He's scheduled to be a free agent after next season, and there is plenty of talk about his future after the Magic were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, and then the Lakers were bounced out of the second round. This tweet from Dwight Howard coming overnight. Why does it seem like the writers of the Orlando Sentinel are trying to push me out of Orlando with dumb articles? It's annoying. Can I enjoy my summer and get ready for next season in Orlando? Please. Same thing you guys did to Shaq. SMH, meaning shaking my head. And taking a look at an excerpt from one of those articles in the Sentinel from Brian Schmitz, who joins us momentarily. Here's what he had to say, quote, despite ABC's studio crew and other media calling for the Lakers to immediately send their team plane to Orlando for 2012 free agent Dwight Howard, we'll boldly assume Dwight will be here to begin next season. Frankly, I'd be surprised if the Lakers weren't on the phone with Magic GM Otis Smith after Game 3 of their series against Dallas, offering to trade Andrew Bynum and a Laker girl for Howard. As we now welcome in Brian Schmitz, who covers the Magic for the Orlando Sentinel. And Brian, we just saw the tweets from Howard saying that the Orlando media, specifically at your paper, is trying to push him out of town like they did Shaq 15 years ago. Is that a valid comparison?
Hannah, SMH, I'm shaking my head. It's just baffling to me that Dwight can reach back that far and compare the situation with himself and Shaq. Here's the thing you have to understand about Dwight. Every time you write or talk about this issue of free agency, he views it as an intrusion, and you're not on the team. The media's not on the team. He expects us to be on his bandwagon. And I have to tell you that ever since he's been here, probably 98% of the things written and said about him have been positive. So I don't know where he gets from here to back to the Shaq days that were driving him out of town. It's fair game to criticize the media. If he wants to call it dumb articles, he has every right to. But just show me some evidence. And it almost looks like he's paving the way, if he does want to leave, that he has a scapegoat.
Mike Bianchi also wrote an article, the gist of it, that the organization cannot move forward while Howard is in limbo, and he calls for Dwight Howard to make a decision very soon about his future. And the end of the article says, because it's the noble, classy, and right thing to do. What do you anticipate going forward in terms of the situation with Magic and with Dwight Howard?
Well, obviously, in a perfect world, every general manager who has a superstar would love to see that. That's why I thought Carmelo Anthony, everybody was on his case about basically forcing his way to Denver, but at least he gave them a heads up, and they were able to get some compensation. I don't think you're going to see that with Dwight. He has a new agent, Dan Fagan, and I don't think they're going to play ball like that. I think they're going to go all the way down to the end, and Otis Smith has said, the general manager said, they have no plans to trade him, so I think they are basically going to wait him out, Hannah, and call his bluff and see where he wants to go. Now, this town's been burned before, of course, in 1996 when Shaq left. There was no restricted free agency there at that time, and they received no compensation. So, you would think by now they would have a pretty good feel about what he's going to do. And if Dwight keeps saying he loves the city, then there shouldn't be a problem.
So keeping in mind what happened, essentially the Magic being left empty-handed after Shaq's departure to Los Angeles, and let's say that some sort of phone call or contact is made, and the likes of Andrew Bynum, Lamar Odom, Pau Gasol are out there for the having, what do you think would happen in terms of the Magic trying to keep Howard there in Orlando or going ahead and pulling the trigger on a deal?
Well, I don't think Mitch Kupchak, the Lakers GM, would be doing his job if he didn't call the Magic, because I think you could see the way the Lakers were swept out of the playoffs, that and Kobe aging, that Dwight's the kind of guy who could give Kobe a couple more rings before he's through. If they offer Pau Gasol or Andrew Bynum with Lamar Odom, I think it's obviously something that you have to think about. But do you want those contracts? Do you want those guys? And I think at the end of the day that the Magic just weighed him out.
Well, he is being touted already as the savior and the solution there in Los Angeles. It'll be very interesting to see what